Welcome to the JobStream AI podcast. My name is Adonis McReynolds, and this is my guest, CMO Eric G. How are you doing today, Eric?
I'm good, Adonis. How are you? Great to be
It's
with you.
Friday, right?
It's
So
Friday.
wonderful day to record and to
Beautiful
talk with
day
one
here.
another.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I think there's a little bit of a delay, but we'll continue. Eric, it's so good to have you on. We always have really talented guests, and we have really talented executives that are changing things in the game today for companies in the ever-changing world. And so today, the purpose of this conversation is to learn a little bit more about how you are doing things differently, Eric. What would you say from an advisory and communication standpoint is the most important thing for a CMO to be doing, and how do you personally carry that out?
Sure. Yeah. It's a great question. And it's a question that I think every CMO or head of marketing in every industry is thinking about on a daily basis. And really, it comes down to how do you create a marketing team, build a team that is a strategic growth driver for the company, not just a functional area. I think that marketers are challenged with not only putting quantifiable results around what they do, but also telling the story of what they do. In some ways, marketers are a lot of times not great marketers of their own story. Right? You have to be able to tell the story within your organization, build buy-in, create a vision that people can understand, that they agree with. They agree, where we want to head and how we want to get there. So I think the biggest challenge is that strategic positioning within a company. And some of the companies that are out there are huge proponents of marketing, and they already value marketing. Obviously, marketing is a big driver on the consumer side of any company that's in a consumer business. I think on the B2B side, it's becoming more and more of a driver in the digital age as we think about AI technology and programs that can help identify buying signals within B2B environments. So both B2B, B2C are marketing areas where AI, digital technology, data are all helping to add credibility to that marketing story. So I think when I think about strategy, I think about my experience at Westbanco, where I was the EVP and CMO, and I was brought in to Westbanco to really build out the marketing function. The company had grown through a series of acquisitions very quickly and not really kept up from a marketing investment perspective. So I was brought in to assess and strategize and really figure out what marketing strategy we needed to grow after these acquisitions and what marketing strategy would be differentiated. Banking is a commoditized industry, and so you have to think about how you differentiate or create distinctiveness among your brand because there are almost 9,000 banks and credit unions out there, so it's a very crowded space. So I came in and really did kind of a listening tour in the beginning and just gathered feedback from as many areas, as many leaders as possible, gathered input on their view of marketing, what they believe works, what doesn't, where they think investment is needed, and then pretty quickly created a gap assessment. So where do we want to be? A vision of kind of what a modern marketing function looks like, and then where are we today, and how do we close those gaps? And then that really was followed by a 3 to 5 year roadmap where we literally went kind of gap by gap and developed a plan over multiple years to close those gaps. And you start really with things that are easy. When you think about a matrix and you're thinking about gaps to close, you think about what's easy to implement and what's high impact. And so ease of implementation and degree of impact are kind of the two basis of your matrix. And if something is easy to implement and it's high impact, you should be doing that right away. If it's hard to implement and it's low impact, that shouldn't even be on your list, right? So you very quickly, using that kind of formula and that matrix approach, you can see, okay, um, these are the investments we're going to need to make. These are the gaps we're going to need to close. And once you have that kind of general roadmap laid out, then you start to build in the kind of the sub strategies that roll up underneath that overarching strategy. Then once you lay some of the foundation for where we want to get to, you create a marketing mission, a marketing vision statement. You get buy-in from executives and leaders who will benefit from what you're doing. And so a lot of what happens as a result of that is you've got a lot of willingness to participate and be a part of kind of the marketing transformation, and not just from members of the marketing team, but from executives and other people in the C-suite, because you're going to need that to move the company forward and move marketing forward. Um, and I think after that, you start to build out. It's the old adage, plan your work your plan. You start to work your plan, and you start to tackle those areas. So for West Banco, it was kind of a full build out of a media plan. Digital focused. We knew we needed to get younger in terms of our core demographic, and so we focused very heavily on the digital media channels where that demographic was most influenced, and we worked on messaging that would resonate with the younger demographic, and we're able to move the average age of a new customer down by 12 years over a full few years time frame. So that was big for us, and but that started with just an assessment of where do we want to be and how are we going to get there, and creating that buy-in. And I think that's really important when you come into a new organization, that you come in, being recognized that you don't have all the answers. You don't know what you don't know within that organization. You need to have an attitude of learning and gathering feedback and being very collaborative, and bringing everybody into your process and your plan so that everybody feels kind of a stake in it.